so we are in number 4. We did a video last week on us planting our kale, kohlrabi, our large candy onions, and the wind was so bad that the whole video is scrapped. So, and a bee just landed on me. So we're just going to do a quick update on what's going on here at the farm. So we are in greenhouse number 4, and this is where our radish and beets are planted. Our onions are over there, and we have more onions and beets along the other outer edge. And then our large tomatoes. So if you watch the video of when we planted these, they were just little tiny things. They're growing now that we're getting some heat. We just finished stringing. Haley is finishing up the stringing over there. She's been stringing and I've been clipping. And they're doing very well. So once we take the suckers off, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the other video, but by taking the suckers off, actually I'll bring you to the back and show you one. So there, the others are all done, so I couldn't show you there. So when you have your main stem and then your branch, and in between that you'll have another one growing, you want to pop that off, and that just promotes better growth. It's all the energy isn't going to these suckers, which are going to go absolutely crazy. So we do a one stem technique on this. So these will continue to grow. You can follow us along as we do that, or go back and find the video of where we do our drop and lean, and stringing and all that kind of good stuff. So I think she had a sneeze coming. Allergy season. Just oh. Wow. That is nuts. So she's just finishing these up. We're going to finish clipping, and then I'll take you into number 3, where we will show you how our peppers and cucumbers are doing. Be right back. And I forgot to mention, I've already harvested radish. Today is Monday, and I harvested these on Thursday. So these were like little piddly things, and now they're going to be ready for harvest again tomorrow. And we'll take them to market on Wednesday. So they're doing really well. We have the Red Ace beet, and they're starting to bulb up on the odd ones. Let me see if I can find one. Anyhow, some of them are starting to bulb up, which is good, and once they do start, it's not long before we can eat them. I tasted some of these beet tops the other day, and they are so sweet and delicious. So we'll finish up what we're going to do, and then head over to number 3. So here we are in number 3. Our peppers are growing slow because we've had no heat. Now that the heat is here, we're hoping they will start to grow like crazy. So our next job will be stringing this entire greenhouse. But we'll bring you back and show you our cucumbers, which were super dry, so I just have the drippers running right now. And we have the heaters here because we don't have heat in this greenhouse, so this is what we used when we were getting cold nights. Cucumbers, I think they got a little bit of cold and wind, so, but they'll be fine. And we're just waiting for our others in number 1 to be big enough to transplant into that far bed. So we're going to put slicers there. In here we have picklers and slicers. So that's it for these 2 greenhouses. Oh, and I'll show you outside what we did where we had our ground cherries planted. So this is where we had our ground cherries planted, if you remember that video. This year we just decided to put zucchini in this bed. So we just took our flooring from fabric from in the greenhouse, covered it and cut holes in it, and then put this these low tunnels over top. And what I did was I poked some big holes at the top so the air, the heat can escape, and that's actually where I water from. So another few days and then we can take this off once we know there's not going to be a frost at night. I think we have 22 of these planted in these beds. And we're going to plant the rest down in one of the new greenhouses that the guys are just finishing up now. We're going to plant a few more in one of those greenhouses. We're going to plant our tomatoes today, more peppers, I don't know, beets, whatever we find up in number 1. So let's take a walk up to number 1 and we'll show you what's going on up there. So now we're into number 1, and this is where we do all of our seeding. We're pretty much every week we're planting something. This is all kohlrabi to go down to the field. We have our heirloom tomatoes. When we price for market, this is what we use because, and I just tape over top of it, almost like it, so it's almost laminated, and that way it catches people's eyes. These are all the heirloom tomatoes, the large tomatoes that we put into the 4.5-inch pots. They're growing like crazy, so I'm hoping they sell very soon because I don't want to have to be staking these all. Then we have our 6-inch heirloom cherry tomatoes. They're doing exceptionally well, and you can see we staked these last week, and we have to stake again with longer stakes because they're just growing like crazy. And then we have more beets to transplant, all of our herbs. Haley's giving it a water. Oh, but I do want to show you our lettuce bowls. So here are our lettuce bowls that are ready to take to market on Wednesday. So this is what I was talking about. There's some that I planted. I put a little bit too much seed in that. But that's okay. It'll just be a thick bowl of salad. So what they do is, once this is a little bigger, they will just grab it, cut it, and leave just very little, like maybe an inch or a little less, and continue to cut it all summer long. So people love that. Our lunchbox peppers that we're transplanting down into one of the bottom greenhouses. More zucchini that needs to be planted out. Our celery, which really has to go out. This is crazy. Look at the root system on that. It's starting to get like root bound. So this is going to be planted within the next day or two. And I think it's going to do very well. It's looking fantastic. And a later planting of celery. And then more onions, kohlrabi, our leeks, which are going to be planted out. More kohlrabi. What's left of our lavender, that goes to the market and that sells like crazy. So we sell that for $5 each pot. And that's English lavender. People love it. So let's go to number 2 and see what's going on in there. Oh, wait a second. And there's our eggplant CB that we have to transplant into one of the bottom greenhouses. I think that's where they're going to go. So yeah, they're smaller than yours, but they're looking pretty darn good. They were dry. You can see them flopping a bit. Haley's looking after that. So can't wait to get those transplanted. And our herb bowls. And this one was just planted not long ago, but we can plant them. We transplant into these bowls. So at the beginning they're just tiny, and people still buy them like crazy. Okay, off to number 2. So just outside of number 2, I'm hoping the wind isn't catching the camera again. I'm just hardening off my grapes, and because I want to get them planted in my own yard. And now we're in number 2. This is where all of our cherry tomatoes are. And we still have a lot of beefsteak and cherry potted tomatoes that are going to be going to market. So they're slowly leaving us. But the tomatoes are doing absolutely fantastic. And our strawberry baskets up here, let's just bring you over. They're, because of the lack of sun, they are a little sparse, but with the sunshine and the heat that we're getting, they're going to start really filling in now. And they're starting to bear fruit already. Pretty excited about that. And our Tumbling Tom hanging baskets are starting to fill out nicely too, as well. And they're starting to get their flowers. Just starting to get their flowers, so won't be long and they'll be bearing fruit. And now we're going to head down to one of the new greenhouses and see what we're going to plant down there. All right, So we finally made it down to our new greenhouses, but it's a different day because we just ran into other things to do yesterday, which is normal for here. So Haley is just poking our holes into our plastic mulch, and we're doing 18-inch centers for these. We're going to plant our Rocky Top tomatoes. These tomatoes are determinate, so they aren't going to grow super tall, and we'll put in some T-bars and weave them, and we'll show you how we do that when we do that. And then they have all of our drip tape hooked up, our headers in, water's running. In the center bed here where there's no plastic mulch, we're going to plant beets and onions. We have a lot of beets left to plant, Hale? Yeah. Lots. And then on this side, we're going to do our lunchbox peppers. So this greenhouse, we have the roll-ups on, which it's actually, I like the size of this. Yeah. It's, this one here is 80 feet long by, I think it's 24, 26 feet wide. I can't remember exactly. But, so there you go. This is what we're working on right now. And we'll get these in and we'll show you when we're done. But I'll bring you over to the other one. This is the one that we still have to put the plastic on, but we're waiting for a calmer day. Put the plastic on that one, and then another one's going to be going right beside that. So, yeah, pretty happy with this. Just have to put our door in, which we're not too concerned about right now. So, we're going to get planting, and we'll show you what it looks like when we're all done.
Okay, so we finished the peppers. Tomatoes are done. We're not going to plant the beets today. We'll do that another day. And when these are ready to be strung, I guess the tomatoes, we'll show you
those. Yeah.
So that's a look at greenhouse.
What are we going to call this?
I don't know.
Guys name this.
Yeah.
We have greenhouse. We have greenhouse and up above. We have 1, 2, 3, 4.
Lettuce house.
Lettuce house.
We had the high tunnel. Now it's down.
So we're going to have 3 down here beside the high tunnel. What should we call them?
Yeah, send us some names that you want us to call these guys.
So by tomorrow, we'll pick a name.
Yeah.
Get on it. Bye, guys.
Bye.